had speech therapy because we've got to say SH words, remember?
Yes. Yeah.
I think as I feel ship would come out, sip, couldn't say them. And I used to say to the lady, I think there's something not quite right. I always knew from a younger age, but I didn't know what, obviously. Having treatment for speech therapy, you can have, it opens up other windows for different, diagnoses of stuff if you think there's an issue, and that's how it all started.
ADHD is an acronym for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. So referrals are usually made by teachers for us to do an assessment. A delay in the assessment and treatment can will have long-term implications.
So we're receiving a lot of referrals, and lots of these children are having problems at school and problems at home. So we wanted to make sure they got the right assessment at the right time. What we were finding, there was quite a lot of flow issues within the service, and we wanted to make sure that we could do the assessments quicker. So what we did is we put some quality improvement techniques into place, and we've been able to make some changes to the service to make sure that we're delivering a better service for children and young families with ADHD.
So as a team, we all sat down together and used QI technique process mapping to figure out kind of how we were spending our time exactly, and the process of that and what we could improve on at what stages.
Part of our QI project was to think about how we could get the information that we need for our assessments sooner, and part of the time lag that we had was being able to get corresponding information from home and from school. So one of the interventions that we did as part of the QI was to develop a pre-screening questionnaire. So this is our school questionnaire. We put them on coloured forms so that we could identify quite clearly which was part of the QI project, and the school and the home screening report, they correspond, and it allows us to match up information from different areas, so that we can see how the child is functioning. These screening forms also have a standardised outcome measure in the SNAP 26, and so we decided to use that as part of a cost-effective tool, as the Connors can be expensive, and it meant that we had gathered information around the child's presentation in a cost-effective manner before they had come into assessment clinic, which was a big shift.
I mean, I guess they've got to be quite longish, I suppose, at they, because you need to get as much information as possible. But I'm not with him 24/7, so you can only go from what you see at home, and that's why you have the school ones, obviously, because in the school can. But theirs quite matched. Mine quite matched with the schools, didn't they? Which is a good thing, I suppose, because then it makes it a bit easier, I suppose, to diagnose.
As a result of the project, we've managed to reduce waiting times. Families were coming for an ADHD assessment, which was taking about 28 weeks from the start of the assessment and their journey through CAMHS to getting a diagnosis. We have now reduced that to 12 weeks.
I think it's been exceptional. You just assume, obviously, with the complications of the NHS, the resources available, that, especially something like this, because we don't know anything about it anyway, do we? But yeah, I think the timing's been absolutely impeccable, really, and it's been first class. Really
He
nice.
loves coming here.
Yeah.
He thinks the play comes in. Come to play, no, it comes to play. It's an appointment. But yeah, no, he loves. Yeah, it's I can't feel at all. I mean, I'm pretty on the ball anyway. I'm pretty.